cybersecurity concerns that we're hearing within the trust, obviously there's things like phishing and scams and everything else, and we do an awful lot of work around making sure that people are aware, the reporting processes for InfoSec. But I hear a lot of people worrying about things like multi-factor authentication and about that being quite a challenge. It doesn't need to be. We've rolled out multi-factor authentication across all of our staff, and it's been relatively seamless. It's not been a one-size-fits-all. There's had to be some compromise and some different approaches in certain areas. But the next stage will be, for those pupils, and actually that's where solutions like Clever can be really helpful, because the quick use of a QR code makes that so much easier than having to remember long passwords, long logins, what did I last use. So I think those kind of things being put in place really help us to make sure that we can be confident with the data security for us and for our young people as well. In the age of AI, I think we've got to find ways that really show that we value the human. And, it might well be a case that moving down the line, we might be identified by our voice, by our visual image, by our style of writing. There's the potential for lots of these things to be used to actually go, that's the usual way that person speaks, that's them. And actually that sounds out of sorts for them. And, we do that as teachers all the time. Yeah. We look at a piece of work and we kind of go, that doesn't sound like their own words. And we start to ask the right questions. So I think that's really important moving forward. That authenticity and the human element, I think, is going to be vital moving forward. In terms of enabling safe AI usage in the classroom, it's about making sure that, the tools that we're using meet all of the required, I was going to say expectations, but that's changed this week. So they're now standards standards in terms of digital and AI safety. So we've got to make sure that we're confident that the tools meet those requirements. That means testing them. As a trust, we've provided some of our AI network and our staff with pupil accounts to try these tools and see what they're capable of, to be a bit naughty and see where it might go. And we've been really pleased with some of the outputs that we've seen. So I think it's being confident that the tools meet the criteria that they need to meet and the safety criteria, but also then making sure we manage small-scale pilots, gather the evidence, put together the case studies, and then look at how we roll that out as a wider implementation. I'm a former modern language teacher, so I love the fact that AI and technology enables us to live translate a conversation. For people here today, international visitors can be relying on their devices to actually help them understand. And that can lead to new alliances, new communications, new friends, and new business as well. So I think those kind of things, that accessibility arm of AI, I think is a really exciting aspect. Moving forward, we don't rely on the successes of our early adopters and use those as a marker for our own progress. Actually, we've got to be thinking about, what about those people who've been in the profession for 30 years? How are they getting on with it? What about those people who don't have access to a device at home? How are they missing out? And that's something we really need to focus on. So it's a really exciting time. AI opens up a lot of opportunities, some risks as well. That's why we've got to use those safe tools. And we've got to teach responsible usage. And we can only do that if we play with it ourselves and find out what it can do.